Hey again, Canada, and welcome back to another episode of One Soccer Today on this World Cup match day for the Canadians. A jam-packed show with lots to get into. And as you can notice immediately, a very special guest to help us begin this very special show. I'm not talking about Oliver Platt or Gareth Wheeler. I am, of course, talking about the newest Halifax Wanderer, DONEIL Henry, who joins us live from Halifax. DONEIL, thank you so much for taking some time on what I'm sure is an insane week for you, just trying to get up to speed and training, new teammates, new staff, learning a new city. I'm sure there's a lot on your plate. So we'll start with the easiest question. How have your days been so far in Halifax, and how excited are you to get going?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Everybody's been really welcoming here. Things happen really quickly between, yes, this is a decision I want to make, to medicals, getting in, training, meeting my teammates, media and press, and then after that, just wanting to just get really settled in to my new habitat and just literally get to work. I need to start off running.
DONEIL, we're all obviously big CPL followers and fans and excited about this league and the opportunity to build something here in Canada. But it's still a young league, and there are going to be people who see this as a risk for you coming to a young league like this. Can you just tell us about what went into this decision for you and why you decided on Halifax?
Yeah. Firstly, I have to give it to Patrice. He is the reason why I chose this as the right move. I trust him fully. Um, and he made me very comfortable making a decision. I knew what was going on the field, on the change room. I watched a few games, and I like the project. They started off really slow, but if you watch the games or you see the results, it's always ties or maybe a 1-0 loss that happened in the 78th minute. But it's a team that plays really attractive football. And there's a lot of young Canadian youth players on this team that I feel like can definitely push to do well here and then continue to move on in their careers. So coming here, knowing Patrice's background from my fellow teammates and like Kamal and Dane and Ali, they told me nothing but good things. Patrice is someone that is crazy. He has a very his brain never stopped working when he talks about football and his ideas and the way he wants to play it. Video meetings and everything that we do. So I said, yeah, this is someone who really wants to do well here. So I said, yeah, right away, this is something that I would do.
Good assessment of the program. These are really exciting times in Halifax as well. And you're kind of like the cherry on top here. A lot of expectations come along with a signing like DONEIL Henry in Halifax. How are you feeling? Where are you in terms of your fitness and just readiness to get out there and play?
Yeah, it's been. I'll to start Minnesota. I came into Minnesota unfit, obviously, with everything that was going on. It took me some time to get fit. Felt like I was at a place where I can definitely start playing, helping the team. And for some reason, just couldn't get in the team or into the 18. So that discouraged me. It really upset me, to be fair. But fair enough. Like I just said, if that's what the case is going to be, then we can part ways. And then after that, I just knew I wanted to be closer to home at this time, giving birth to my first son. So I knew that I wanted to stay close to home. I didn't want to be a father that had to be miles away and be a FaceTime father. It's not something that I really want to do at this time. So with that being said, and then maybe going abroad again and figuring out, I said, there's no better time than to just make sure that I can stay here, get back to the best me, my best self, help this team who I actually believe in and really do believe that they can make a good playoff push. And then we see where we are after this. But the pressure, no pressure, I invited. There's a lot of characters in this change room who have a lot of qualities that can definitely bring this team to new levels. But with a coach like that everybody is who everybody believes in. For myself, I don't want to take any light off of what the team has already done. I just want to help and bring more.
But you're feeling good physically. You're back to 100%.
Yeah, physically I feel good, but I haven't played much games, so I know that I need to get back into rhythm and feeling and back to football moves and whatnot. But besides that, no, training, everything is fine. Of course, I have some sharpening up to do, but I'm not worried that won't come quickly.
Danielle, first of all, congratulations on the growing family. Always exciting
Yeah,
times to juggle a move and to juggle being a pro footballer as well. So big congrats there. You
busy.
mentioned you mentioned some of your teammates there, especially Alistair Johnson, who had played against the Halifax Wanderers back when he was in League One Ontario. I'm curious the reception of your teammates from the national team, from everything that we're told consistently, the brotherhood, everyone's very supportive. And the
Yeah.
reason I bring this up, not to cast any doubt or reasons of negativity, but I think a lot of people who support the Canadian Premier League were a little bit surprised by the line in the press release when the labor disputes were going through. And I don't want to talk about that, but the line was something to the effect of the Canadian Premier League being a minor league. And I think that caught a lot of players or supporters and players in this league a bit by surprise. You obviously don't believe that because you wouldn't have signed here if you believed that. So what has the reaction been from your national team teammates about this move? Because in a lot of ways, you're a trendsetter as an active national team player coming to this project.
Yeah, no, to be fair, we all know what's going on within the CPL, especially for the local boys who spend time going to the youth ranks and whatever. We know what's going on. We know the players. A lot of us either know the younger players who fell through, but we know the opportunity that the CPL gives to Canadians to continue to live their dreams. Um, how can the league get better if players don't start making leaps of faith and jumps to make sure that we can now give back and do these things? So they can call it whatever they want, minor league, whatever, but no league is built overnight. We knew that the league would take time to get better and develop. And I think for right now, where I am and what I can give, I think that this is the right choice for me.
Daniel, I wanted to ask you about the World Cup. Obviously, I know there was obviously disappointment there in not being able to play, but we've all heard the players on the men's national team speak about you, the leadership role you have, the presence you are in that group. What did you kind of take away from Qatar, just in terms of your own lessons and learnings that have made you a better leader and player?
Yeah, I'm going to bring you back right to the beginning of my career, 17. I am the first for my generation, whatever, to be an academy player for TFC. I did not have anybody to look up to make decisions. I'm a pioneer. Every single time it was to sign my first contract, it's either yes or no. I didn't even know about agency and having an agent at the time. My first contract, I was told that agents are not good. We are your club. We would never lead you astray. No, I feel like for every decision that I have made, I've always had to make it as okay. I made great decisions. I've made poor decisions, but any decision I make, I do it 100% with my heart and what I feel is right. Um, so sometimes it's helped me, sometimes it's put me astray. But what I can say with this over the decade, 13 years that I've been a professional, I've never kind of wavered in my decisions. I've always knew I have quality and I know what I can do. So I don't really care about the outside noise. Um, when it comes to helping and being a good teammate, I always just wanted that for myself. And like I can say, like one of the first guys I've had was Julian de Guzman, and maybe just a little bit before that or just after that, Stephen Caldwell, where I said I had a center back that actually took me under his wing and taught me the game. I had a Ryan Nelson who, for what reason, believes in me, and he helped me think about the game a lot differently. And then I have a coach in John Herdman who made me even see the game differently. And like, so every time you're brought into football, you meet people that either have a positive impact or negative impact or no impact. But it's all about meeting these people and taking a little bit and bringing it to your own identity. And I feel like John brought the best of my leadership ability out in a, I wouldn't say uncomfortable place, but I usually just lead by example and not too much to speak about, and then they just feel my presence. But I do know how much the youth look up to me and how much they respect me. So I do know that when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm born with it.
I mean, winning is largely a mentality in a lot of different ways, and you're chock full of it. That personality, the leadership that you bring to the table. We saw the transformation with you, part of that Canada team. You were just a pain in the ass to play against, right? Like there was this belief, this mentality about the group. Is that what you want to bring to Halifax? Because it's a club. We're still in early years, right? But it seems like they haven't found that swagger, found that attitude yet, despite playing some really good football on the field. Is that kind of the transformation that you want to help bring to this group? Because I mean, the crowds there, the support, the stadium, the backing of the club, it just seems like that might be the missing ingredient.
Amazing. Everything that I've seen so far, the supporters, the backing, the ownership groups, even the stadium is beautiful. Like, I can't find much wrong here. I'm so comfortable, and even for a professional standard, everything has been really decent over here. When you talk about like the brotherhood, it's not going to be built overnight because first of all, everybody has to sacrifice themselves and put the team first. When you ask people to do that, people would be like, "What? Like, why would I do that?" Like everybody wants, and it's fair. Like we're human. You want what's best for you. You always want you first. We changed that environment within the national team. Steven Victoria is the starting center back of the three, but we respect each other because we know that he's not going to play all 3 games in a 3-game window. I'll get a game, and we trust each other with the responsibility to go out there. We don't say I should have the job and blah. No, like we leave that culture behind. We know the players who are going to play 3 games in a window and can play 3 games in a window and who we need, but we know that the best to get out of Steven, the best to get what out of me, like we can offer valuable minutes, but we never ever talked down on each other or made it feel like this is not something that we want. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had my Qatar experience, and obviously not in the light that I needed, but I did know how much my teammates wanted me to be a part of that, and how much just telling them to get out of their own heads and just play for the team, and like it was great. But yeah, I still have an opportunity, obviously in 2026. So as long as I get right, if it's in this league or I have to go elsewhere, obviously after, because I find my levels that I can get back to. There's no disrespect to the CPL, but like I still will have to like push to make sure that I can get this league to higher standards and then get myself back to where I need to be to make sure that I can represent my country.
DONEIL, this weekend, obviously, another match day in the Canadian Premier League will begin, and thrown right into the fire. Whatever minutes or role you're able to play or participate in your first weekend, I'm sure it's just a matter of drinking from a fire hose at the moment. But from the training perspective, you're trying to get accustomed to getting everyone around you, learning their little habits, how you can help them, how they can help you, etc., and adding to the momentum right now. Aside from the borderline psychopath behavior of you wearing long sleeves in the humidity, which both impressed and scared me, seeing those pictures from training come out, what have you learned and taken away from training about some of the individual characteristics of your teammates and players like a Joao Morelli coming back from injury and trying to find his goal-scoring boots again?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Joao Morelli was 2022's MVP or 21.
21, yeah.
21, yep.
Yeah, then had the injury early in the season last year, coming back from an ACL. I've had an ACL, and I can tell you right now, he looks sharp. He's going to be all right, and he's going to be one of those big additions that we're happy to have back at a certain time right now. So maybe the minutes are limited, but the more comfortable he gets, he's definitely going to be a key player moving forward for us this season. For myself, I know I can help the team right away. Minutes will be obviously decided on the court. So no, I'm hungry and I'm happy. Some of the characteristics that we have in the change room, a lot of fast, very sharp, very, very, very sharp technical players, and I feel like just confidence to score goals. We need to be ruthless. That's all that's lacking. Ruthless in one box, and then knowing how to close out games. I feel like the little lapses we've had in transition, and I'm sure they're gonna help to make sure that we can just shore up the shop and make sure we clean up everything.
Have you put kind of as Patrice or any of the group put kind of a specific goal on what you want to achieve this season? You're a few points off the top of the table. There's a trophy to play for in the playoffs, obviously, as well. Are you setting it that high, or is it kind of game by game right now, DONEIL?
I'm mistaken. We're 19 points. There's two teams above us right now on 21 points. I think the top team has 26 points.
Yeah.
13, 14 games to play. There's everything to play for. We're definitely we know we're going to the playoffs. But where we end up, we know if we have a good run of games and we can change the season around, we're going to definitely be one of the teams that are going to make a good run and potentially win this thing.
Hard-hitting question to wrap things up. I mean, are you a big seafood guy, DONEIL? I mean, you're well-traveled. I'm sure you have a diverse palate that's developed over the course of your career. Where do you rank seafood?
My palate doesn't help me, but I love steak, but I'm definitely going to be a pescatarian while I'm out here. It just makes sense. So I'm just going to enjoy these first 4 to 6 months, and I've had lobster twice since I've been here, so
Nice.
but it's an amazing city, guys.
Settling in nicely and an absolute delight. Thank you so much for carving a quarter of an hour with us, Dan. We really appreciate it. Cannot wait to see you on the pitch battling again and in the CPL. All the best. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you soon, DONEIL.
Thanks,
Thank you.
DONEIL.
Thank you guys. Take care.
See you, pal.